where he's negotiating with the Chinese men that he finds his daughter with in the masquerade shop.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, another one is something I just looked at, which is, hold on one second. I just looked at it was a reference. Give me just one moment.
I mean, this has been years. They've been grooming us, the public, the public, for years.
Yeah, they have. They totally have. But see, here's the funny part, though, is that you still gotta say it to people. Like, you know what I mean? You still gotta look people in the face and come out and say it. Because even with, let me put it this way, there's not enough. Okay, so let me say this. If not for Corona and a different election outcome, they would have just steamrolled us into it with a level of hyper incompetency with managing a different virus. Like, we're just going to traumatize you with viruses. We're going to slam a world war. And once we break this place, we're just going to roll out this new thing. And it's not going to be negotiable because things will be so desperate where, you have to kind of just go along with what we want anyway. And that was what their whole thing was. That was their whole thing. And it didn't turn out like that. And now we have this situation where they're just kind of stuck looking at us like, they're like, now they're begging us while
contriving poverty in corrupt states that have been compromised with governors that are extremely corrupt, that they're intentionally contriving poverty. Intentionally.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like they have no choice. They have no choice but to. That's how desperate the situation is.
They're doing this in an effort. I really want to talk about this with you, and I want you to say something on this issue. They've been waging psychological warfare on our men and fathers for years prior to this going on, and I was trying to educate. I was trying to educate about this in the Porthole to Justice back in 2015. They have been feminizing the men in our society, in our culture, Western culture, so there is more vulnerable women and children for human trafficking. I want to talk about that.
Well, in regards to that, I have to say, unfortunately, that is a component of the process. Unfortunately, that is a component of. I mean, like here's something we have to understand. Like, remember how we talked about the parallel society? How there's us, and then there's really just us, and whatever, and then there's them. This is just how they are. They come in, they find a society which is a good host. They find a culture, a civilization, and they parasitically, feed on the host. And then once it breaks, they take off. Once it breaks, they take off. And this time they figured out, hey, instead of breaking it, let's just turn it into that and and use the technology to sustain that. So everything in regards to their funding, their private projects, the programs, it's all just been going into them trying to create this stable reality where they can run around in control of everything and just openly be cannibals and pedophiles. And that sounds a little weird, but that's who they are. And every chance they get, they kind of just let you know, hey, we're into this. Are you down with that? You know what I mean? Weird stuff like here's the funny part. Here's the funny part is that on some levels you want to say, no, dude, that's all in your head. You're kind of just reaching. I really wish we were. I really wish we were reaching. I really wish we were just a bunch of whiny little babies. I really wish we were just a bunch of conspiracy buffs that couldn't control our own interpretation of what's going on in front of us. But the ugly truth is that that's not what's going on here. You know what I mean? That is not what is going on here. What's going on here is that these people really are that messed up. They really are that messed up. In fact,
I think
these are the kind of people.
You and I have been talking about this on my show since 2015, and I think we've been, really ginger with the topic.
No, I mean, like, yeah, we've been pretty soft in a lot of ways. We've been real soft, but one of the weird things is that now things have just gotten to a point where, like, they're more afraid of the truth coming out than we are of telling it. But at the same time, they've tried to create this society where they can punish us for being honest about who they are in relation to us. And and at the same time, they're running around trying to make us feel bad about telling them that we think they're happy.
Actively trying to censor us. At the same time, they're trying to normalize the.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's not working. Which is why they knew that they were going to have to force us with. Like, let me put it this way: they wanted to get us in a war. They wanted to release a virus or some virus, get us whipped up in a panic, and here comes Bill Gates, right? And it's failing. And that's the thing that they can't understand is why. Like. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not the.
Why is it
Sorry,
failing on such a large level? Because, I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't take...
Why what now?
To have a PhD. It doesn't take somebody to... And this is the thing, and I have to speak out because I'm really outraged by this, because I think that they really, truly believe that we don't have the intelligence level to understand that a vaccine is not a viable solution when you can be re-exposed. They don't think that they think we need a degree or some sort of scientific certification to be able to say that, and that we're not going to be intelligent enough to understand that or know that.
Well, for one, I've never met a virus this woke where if you go to the mall or the bar or a restaurant, or a Trump rally, you'll get sick. But if you're rioting or you're going to some crazy pool party in Wuhan, everything's fine. The virus is like, oh no, I'm not going to infect them. If you're marching, burning down people's property for Black Lives Matter or Antifa, the virus is like, oh, I'm not going to mess with them.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but it's ridiculous.
No, and
ridiculous.
I seriously don't understand. And then in the same breath, they want to censor us for putting the truth out there, for saying that it's absolutely impossible for a virus and a bacteria to coexist with each other. It doesn't happen in nature. They want to tell us that we're fake news because we make that statement online. I mean...
Totally, and that's what the cool reality about this situation is that they know it's over. You know what I mean? They know it's over, and they're a little scared. They're a little scared because they know it's over. But not only is it over, they're very aware of the fact that they know the end is coming. So in their minds, they're thinking if we can make things just disjointed enough, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. That's what they're telling. This is what they're telling themselves. That's what's so crazy to me. It's like, wow, you guys really believe this mess. Okay. All right, cool. All right. But see, here's the thing: is they still, under these circumstances, the time window is so. Because see, here's the thing: is that they know he's going to get reelected, even with the post office box thing, even with all these other problems. The situation becomes mail-in voting. Who ever heard of mail-in voting? You know how ridiculous that is? That is the most high school, juvenile, ignorant, disrespectful thing to say to a population of, we're going to say mail-in voting is okay. Huh? The fact that they even mentioned that was was quite frankly
really believe
a federal offense. Like, do you understand that? The fact that they mentioned that and tried to pass it into law was a federal offense. And also, they're still trying to get that snuck. Listen, they're still going to try it. Listen, this is why there has been no stimulus plan, because they keep trying to sneak that into the ballot before the election, or the next bill before the election. And they keep getting caught, and they haven't told the American public about it yet. They haven't told the American public.
This is the thing. We are so past the point of sugarcoating this to the public. We don't have that luxury anymore. The children haven't had that luxury for a long time now. And it's heartbreaking and it's horrific. But if you can just simply understand that this is the United States is unique. It is a country unlike any other country on this planet. And if they can wage war from within, they can take us down from within. They can't take us down from without. Outside.
No, they learned that. Well, let me put it this way. The Chinese Communist Party has created one of the largest weak militaries on the weakest largest military on the planet. They are the most untrained, unbattle-hardened people you'll ever see. But then they'll show you, like, oh, look, here's a video of one of our soldiers shooting really well. Can they all do that? So their war machine propaganda is pathetic. But in regards to what you just said, no, like we're in a situation where basically they're cornered. And they know that they're going to lose a bunch of politicians. They knew Trump was going to do 8 years no matter what. So everything has been, we got to get rid of this guy because we're not going to be able to get rid of him. And now we're dealing with it, where now they're bringing back up the whole Russia thing. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, I want Vladimir Putin to say something. But if Vladimir Putin says something, he's damned for saying I am not involved. I mean, he already made the statement. I have nothing to do with it. We don't get involved. Mm-hmm. So he's already made that statement. Whether it's true or not is not important, because he said that, but they're still going to take that information and spin it in the news. You know what I mean? It was the same thing as when Bush wanted a war with Iran, and Ahmadinejad shows up kind of unannounced to go speak at Harvard or Yale or some school, and it really caused a lot of problems because they were like, how did we not know he was coming here?
But the objective, the objective has always been the children.
Oh yeah, for sure. But again, we're talking about Iran, where they openly, where the highest leaders in the land openly say, yeah, you can totally kiss kids, or if you rape a girl, it's her fault. Like, really?
Well,
really?
But the thing is that they like the template, the economic template that China has, because it's a top-down template that pretty much monetizes the flesh.
Yeah, that's really
and American people won't understand what I'm trying to say. Maybe you can explain it.
No, they're shifting parts of their population to overtly being cattle. Yep. In a deliberately naked way, they're shifting a portion, maybe 15 to 20%, I'd say 5 to 10% of their population, actually 5, to just openly, nakedly being cattle.
Well, you were in China, David. Let's talk about a little bit, let's just touch on the reality of the situation in China.
They're a doomed country. They're doomed. Let me put it to you this way.
Let's talk about how they've already been operating slave labor camps for some time. The civilians of China have not had a voice. They've been extremely oppressed and censored worldwide for this very agenda.